favorite ways to get the season started? Well, that's by heading to Montana and going after antelope. It opens usually around August 15th. That's before almost any other seasons are going, and antelope, well, they can be a blast to hunt, but boy, can they be tough at times too. I always go to Powder River Outfitters, and the reason is because they have such a great operation, they have so much game and so many opportunities. Well, we're just coming into our blind. Now this is a little bit different setup. We actually are hunting trails. Not usually how you hunt antelope, but it's been really wet, rainy, so we've got a trail coming under the fence, and it comes probably 20 yards from our blind. So we're gonna crawl in this blind, sit for the day, got everything I can possibly need, and then some probably, and hopefully these bucks will come right on through. Well, I knew that these bucks were starting to rut, and we were hoping if we could put up a decoy, we could bring one right into us. Got a big group of antelope right over this hill. So what we're trying to do is basically stalk in. Want to get a visual on where they're at so we can put that decoy up and hopefully bring them inside 50 yards. Gave it a good try. We got in probably 140, 150 yards from that buck. He saw him, but I think there was a buck on the other side that he kept watching. There was. Yeah. And now they just kind of took off out there, but not easy getting in that close, especially trying to wait them out. But one of those does must saw something she didn't like, and there they go. I'll tell you what, we decoy a buck in. I'm shooting. Are you scared I'm going to let you get run over?
I've did this once before when we about did.
You didn't have a very good hunter.
I'm telling you, it was fast.
Yeah.
And he was going to get to run the start.
I won't let him get run over, I promise. That's on camera. There'll be no getting run over by an antelope. You're safe.
This segment was brought to you by U.S. Sportsman's Alliance. Our heritage, our fight. Protecting hunting from coast to coast.
Did you know that Montana adopted hunter harassment laws in 1986, becoming one of the first states in the country for protecting sportsmen from anti-hunters out in the field? All the states in the U.S. have the hunter harassment laws, but the majority are using the language developed by the USSA. Just another fun fact showing how sportsmen and women are making a difference. Now, antelope, it can be tough because you're out there for long hours. It's hot and things don't always go your way. In fact, I had had a lot under my belt and still none had quite produced an antelope yet. Well, if we can sneak in and just get close, I mean, I can get to full draw and just kind of come up on it.
Yeah, we'll just keep going over there because if they haven't moved, we're going to be close.
That's what I like to hear. One of the things that you're gonna have to be ready for when you're out antelope hunting is long shots. These antelope don't just come charging into the decoy like you'd like. I've seen it happen, I know it can, but it's not quite the norm. They're a little bit cautious, they'll come in, and a lot of times they'll just skirt around you 50, 60 yards. So before you go on a hunt like that, you want to make sure that all your equipment is ready to go and you can take those longer shots. Now with my setup, I felt like I was prepared. What I'm shooting is an HHH dial sight, so that way you can dial it in for exactly the distance you need. The tough part is, well, you don't necessarily know what the antelope's going to come in, how far they're going to come in, so you're still doing a little bit of judging on the fly. As much as I wanted to try to get an antelope spot in stock, well, I also knew I had to be effective. So what we decided is the mornings and evenings, it probably made the most sense to sit in a blind. They're coming to fields, and that way you can get in before they get there. I had antelope come by. I had antelope after antelope, but just no big bucks within range. And sometimes you start wondering, is it me? Is it just the way they work? And sometimes I think you just have to understand that they just had a different plan for the day, and it did not involve strolling by my blind. With a ton of stocks under our belt, well, Travis Anderson, who actually owns Powder River, and I decided to go out and we were gonna get it done. We were gonna go way back in the backcountry, and he knew there was an absolute giant antelope back there. So as Travis and I get way back in this backcountry, it is just beautiful. And the next thing I know, that big antelope is looking at me. Now, I don't know what he thought I was or if he was just curious, but he didn't bolt and he just stood there. So I thought, this is my chance. Travis is right there. It's the time to get this buck. Now, he was not close, but I didn't think I could get any closer. He was a little over 70 yards, but I was confident I could make the shot, put my pin on him, just gave it a nice release. And my arrow just went just a half inch right over the top of his body. And that big buck just took off and was gone. Well, we just spent most of our afternoon running and chasing around this buck that we could have had a long time ago. I missed him at 70 yards today, just right over the top of him. And got in close to a doe and thought we had him, but we sure put in a good effort.
Yeah, thank God about 100 degrees.
Feels like 100. And it's just exciting to be out there. Wasn't happy about it, but I had a great opportunity this year, but just didn't make it happen. That was a lot of stalking to have him. I can't feel my legs. What did you get to see? Your favorite thing of all, right?
A rattlesnake.
Nothing like getting to the sagebrush where we wanted to be and having a snake waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Gear Rundown is brought to you by Analogics. Protect your deer herd with the power of science.
As a bow hunter, we're always looking for different things out of our equipment. Now, one thing I do a lot, well, I hunt out west a lot, and I also have some pretty long shots. Now, what I like about the Easton injections for my arrows, this is in a deep 6, and it's an absolutely thin diameter arrow. Well, it gives me all sorts of benefits in the field. The first thing, if you have a really windy day, of course, you're gonna have less wind drift with an arrow that's this thin. I mean, if you take a look at all these arrows, they're extremely thin, and not only do you get less wind drift, but you're also gonna get way better penetration. And when it comes to bow hunting, penetration is key. I don't care if you're someone who shoots 20 yards or 60 yards, you want a complete pass through. That'll lead to quicker kills and quicker recoveries. So in the end, that's what we're all after. So you really need to figure out what works for you. And for me, the thinner diameter arrow is exactly what I need for my hunting setup.
This segment was brought to you by Boss Buck. For the most user-friendly and dependable feeder on the market, choose Boss Buck feeders. Now you're getting serious. Winchester Deadly Passion is presented by Cutty Back Digital. More deer, fewer blanks. Hard-hitting Easton arrows. Hunter's Safety System. Winchester Repeating Arms. Analogics. Protect your deer herd with the power of science. Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry technology. Apply it, dry it, and go hunt. Rage Broadheads, leading the evolution in lethal technology. Sportsman's Alliance, protecting hunting from coast to coast. Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler company. And Golden Triangle Whitetail, your hunt of a lifetime awaits.
One of the things I love about hunting Montana and on the Powder River is the fact that you can come in, you can do an antelope hunt before the deer season starts, and then you can still get that early season deer hunting in. Now, as good as the early season deer hunting is in Montana, well, this year I was planning on coming back later around Thanksgiving so I could rattle and use my gun. To me, there's just nothing more exciting than setting up, picking a place, finding an opening, figuring out what it takes, and bringing the bucks out. Now this year I was hunting with Dylan Parker. He's a guide at Powder River Outfitters, and we wanted to make sure we could get in on those river bottoms and try to bring the bucks out. So as Dylan and I set out, we had really good weather. In fact, it was nice, cool, and crisp, and I felt that these bucks were probably going to be running. It's the perfect time. When it comes to rattling, there's a lot of different things that can really help your success. But one thing I found, big, heavy antlers. These sheds I found a while back, sawed off the brow tines, and that's extremely important. I know you probably don't want to saw off a nice set of sheds like this, but I can promise you, your fingers will be happy. If you don't, you're going to be smashing them together and it really hurts. The other thing, by having a heavier set of horns like this, well, it really makes a difference on the sound. You get a really nice solid sound, and I think it's really helped add to my success out here in Montana and all over. Now granted, there's not that many bucks this big always fighting, but it'll get the attention, and whitetails are curious. They want to see what's going on. So make your setup real, run around, knock some brush over, and get yourself a big set of sheds, and well, you might have some luck out rattling as well. If not, you're gonna have a blast. Even if it's little ones, you can't beat it. We were seeing a lot of activity, and that's what I want to see. These bucks are up on their feet. They're down in the river bottoms, they're kind of in the clearings, and that's where we wanted to get. Dylan and I were switching back and forth. That way I could have my gun on the sticks and ready to go while he's still rattling. As soon as I heard him quit, well, I knew there's probably a buck coming in on its way.
Tip of the Week is brought to you by Field & Stream. Trusted brands, timeless traditions.
Now, one thing I like to do on my early season scouting routines is find areas that I can make a mineral site. Now, you want to make sure that you can legally do this in your state, but what I like to use is the Analogics, the Mineral Dirt 180. And the reason I like this is the people at Analogics, they use the science. They have the correct nutrition in here, all the right vitamins, the chelated minerals that will make it easily absorbable for the white-tailed deer. And if you can keep them healthy, we're gonna have the best racks. So what I like to do is actually come out and just work up the ground. You just simply use a hoe, use a shovel, anything you can to loosen up the soil, and then you can pour this in. Now what I like about this is it also contains the AnaShield TX4. Now what that is it's really like a deer power pack to keep your deer healthy. Now minerals are really important at the beginning time of the season, as soon as those deer are actually starting to grow their racks. The reason why? Well, they need specific minerals all the way to the time that they shed their last bit of velvet. Every ounce of different minerals are very helpful. In fact, Analogics went across the US, figured out what type of minerals and natural licks are there and what produces the biggest bucks. They took that research, brought it back, and are finding ways not only to make your racks bigger, but to give you the healthiest deer herd possible. So one thing I like is the fact that if you've got dirt, they're getting used to coming to this area. You can get great pictures, you'll have bigger bucks, and the best part is you're gonna have a healthier herd.
Winchester Deadly Passion is presented by Winchester, the American legend. Matthews Archery, catch us if you can. Field and Stream, where traditions begin. ScoutLookWeather.com. Download the free Deer Log app for your smartphone. Reinhardt, the best archery targets in the world. Sure Shot Jewelry. Check out the Melissa Bachman collection today. And Boss Buck, for the most user-friendly and dependable feeder on the market. Now you're getting serious. Closed captioning is brought to you by Cuddyback Digital. Upgrade to Cuddyback and your images will never look better.
Well, I wasn't totally sure. I didn't make a split-second decision and I let him go. He's like, "You didn't want that one?" I'm like, he was pretty nice. So after looking down, we found a good place that we wanted to set up. What do you think, right in that opening right in the middle there, in that little pile? Set up, I'm gonna try rattling. I'm gonna use some of this brush right behind us. Got everything ready, started rattling, and immediately a nice buck came up. And the first thing I can see is on his right side, some cool part of his beam. What do you think? Well, I couldn't resist. I took the shot. He ran off. And I turned around and I couldn't even believe it all had happened so fast. What a deal. We have been rattling. We've had pretty good luck, but this, I wanted to rattle and there I am over there, my gun's over here, not quite an ideal setup. This one wasn't a giant, but he was a cool deer, had a cool beam, and I was really excited to go up and see what we had. Wow.
Look at that.
Nice deer.
Cool. He's got a weird main beam, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he was pretty neat.
Boy, what an awesome morning. I mean, that other one, I think that 8 was probably even bigger than this.
It was bigger, but...
What a deer. Well, it's been awesome out here. We've been hunting out here. We're with Powder River Outfitters. Just a great hunt. I've been coming out here for years, rattling in bucks, and got another nice buck. Worked out great, and couldn't be happier. It worked out. Awesome.
Cool.
One of the things I really like about hunting Montana is the fact that I've come there for such a wide variety of different things. I've been out there, I've taken a beautiful antelope. I've also taken early season mule deer. I've come out and taken beautiful mule deer in the late season. They have whitetails. You name it, they've got it. So overall, it's probably one of my favorite destinations to go each year because it's absolutely a game-rich environment.
This episode, Melissa was hunting with Travis Anderson of Powder River Outfitters. To book your Montana deer hunt, visit powder-river-outfitters.com and tell them Melissa sent you. Follow Melissa on Twitter at Melissa Bachman, on Facebook at facebook.com/Winchester Deadly Passion, and Instagram at Melissa_Bachman for behind-the-scenes footage, photos, giveaways, and much more.